country develops a drug. And here's what this drug does. It helps you to lose weight, it prevents diabetes, and it prevents the occurrence of hypertension. It improves your balance, it elevates your mood, it improves your sexual function, it prevents fractures due to osteoporosis. Now, can you imagine how popular that drug would be, right? I mean, that would beat out Viagra, right? Everybody would be on it, right? Everyone would want to take that. And yet all of that is available to us through exercise, through something without any cost at all. So we have this tremendous intervention that is available to us that would bring us all of those benefits. And all we have to do is figure out how to harness it. The second analogy that I'd like you to think about, because it's part of how I conceptualize the role of a health director in a shape-up issue, is I want to, completely anecdotally talk about my mother, the exercise hater. Now, my mother would rapidly admit that she is perhaps the least disciplined person in the world. She has never stepped into a gym. I don't think she has any intention of doing so. And she does not currently get a lot of exercise. But I'd like to tell you about what her life was like when I and my siblings were the same age as my children are. I have a 5 and 7. So when she had a 5 and 7, although she also then never got any quote-unquote exercise, she lived in a walk-up building where there was no elevator. She had no car, so in order to go shopping, she had to push the 2 children in the stroller to the store, which was not on the nearby corner, because it was, in order to be able to go to the supermarket, she had to push further, she had to push it back. She had no washing machine. She washed her clothes in the sink. She put the clothes through the wringer in order to dry the clothes. She had no dishwasher. There was no television, right? She ironed the shirts that were necessary for my dad to go to work, he who maintained a much better standard of how to dress than I do, right? And so in her life, I don't think she needed anybody telling her to exercise in order to shape up. That was more than enough exercise for any person. And so the problem, as I conceive it, of modern life, is that our modern life doesn't really require that we do much. I mean, for many people, the body has just become something that shuttles it from meeting to meeting. It is no longer an integral part of what we do. My children grow up having never turned even the dial of the television set, right? They don't even have to get up, right? At least, I, unlike my parents' generation, we had what we would watch television, but we had to get up to turn the channels. They just sit there like this, right? So our modern life, right, the can openers, right? Can openers are electric. My mom used the hand con, right? So everything has changed. But it's still unrealistic to expect that everybody is going to go to a gym, right? That the one thing maybe I have in common with my mom's generation of raising children is life is really busy. It's really hard to find time to separate. And so what we have to do as public health directors, as city planners, as social organization people, is to figure out how do we bring back exercise and fitness as part of daily life. How do we make it easy for people to do it? Because that's the only circumstance in which many people will get their exercise. And that is how we will realize the benefits that are so enormous in the field of prevention of disease, and often the case of treating disease. So I'll end with one more story, which is of a very unusual patient I took care of. I met him when his blood glucose was over 500, and he was in his early 40s. It was the first diagnosis of diabetes. And generally, as a physician, for someone in their 500s, you would assume that he would be on insulin the rest of his life. He was overweight. He wasn't, of such an overweight proportion that I attributed it all to his weight. But I said, you're going to have to take insulin. And he said, I will, but I don't want to be tied to that medicine my whole life. And I said, well, that's great. If you lost weight and you exercise more, your insulin requirement might really drop, and we can see how far it goes. Well, he determined in a very unusually motivated way that he was not going to be on insulin for his whole life. And so he went from being moderately overweight to being the ideal weight and bicycling 25 miles a day, because that was his commitment to himself, and in fact he stopped needing insulin. Now that's an unusual level, right? That's not what you can expect. Everyone is not going to prioritize the time to bicycle 25 miles every day. But I think on the other hand, it also shows how powerful an intervention this is. And so I think, I commend your work today to really think about how you can figure out with us San Francisco's plan to become the most active city, the best chance to prevent disease, the best chance to make people feel better. It's a wonderful scope of work for a day. I'd like to now introduce my partner in the Shape Up Coalition, Margaret Brotkin, who is the director of the Department of Children, Youth and Families, and who's taken a tremendous role in that, in promoting shaping up for families and all the ways that exercise and better nutrition makes families healthier. Thank you very much.